Sarah decided to take drastic action as she cannot stand Joe's behavior anymore. At night, she lured Joe into her apartment, weakened him with a sleeping pill in a drink, tied his hands, legs, and mouth, then cut off his penis. Mr. Joe was the wealthiest man in a peaceful village, surrounded by green hills and sparkling rivers. His large mansion stood in the middle of the community, its shiny roof visible from afar. The villagers admired Joe for his wealth and influence, but they also whispered about his flaws. Joe had a weakness. He loved women and always gave them money anytime. Joe's wife, Mary, had been with him from the start, long before his riches. Mary was a fiery woman with a sharp tongue and a reputation for fearlessness. Villagers both respected and feared her. When Mary was angry, her eyes glowed. Even the bravest men stayed out of her way. Despite her strength, Mary was deeply loyal to Joe. She loved him and always stood by him and cared for their children, even though Joe's wandering eyes after other women often embarrassed and hurt her. Joe's habit of chasing after other women was an open secret. He often traveled to neighboring villages, bringing back stories of beautiful women he'd met. Although Mary scolded him, he paid little attention. "It's a man's world, Mary," he would say with a grin, "and I have the means to live as I please." Mary's anger burned, but she kept her frustrations to herself, hoping Joe would one day change. As the years went by, Joe's behavior only worsened. He began bringing other women into their home. The once quiet mansion became a place of tension and conflict. One day, Joe brought another woman into their home, introducing her to Mary as his second wife. Her name was Lily. Lily was a young woman from a nearby village. Lily was everything Mary was not. She was gentle, soft-spoken, and submissive. She had grown up in a poor family and saw marrying Joe as an escape from hardship. Lily was grateful for her new life and tried to fit into the household without causing trouble. Mary, however, saw Lily as a threat. She didn't like how Joe doted on Lily or how Lily avoided confrontation. To assert her dominance, Mary gave Lily the hardest tasks in the house. Lily had to wake up before dawn to fetch water, cook for everyone, and clean the large mansion, while Mary's children would always laze around, laughing at their mother's co-wife. Lily would not shout at them because she feared their mother. If anything went wrong, Mary would scold her harshly in front of everyone, including the children in the house. Despite the mistreatment, Lily remained silent. She believed that enduring Mary's wrath was better than returning to her former life of poverty. The villagers pitied her, but dared not interfere, fearing Mary's temper. Joe, meanwhile, remained oblivious to Lily's struggles. Lily would complain to Joe about the maltreatment she was receiving from Mary, but Joe wouldn't caution Mary or console Lily because he felt less concerned. Joe enjoyed having two wives and began boasting about his growing household. "My mansion needs to be filled," he often said. "A man of my stature deserves a big family." After 1 year of marrying Lily, Joe married another woman named Rose. He met Rose, a bold, confident, and beautiful woman, at a village market. Rose was not like Lily. She was outspoken, strong-willed, and unwilling to let anyone control her. Joe admired her fiery personality and decided she would be his third wife. When Rose arrived at the mansion, the household's dynamic changed dramatically. Unlike Lily, Rose refused to bow to Mary's authority. When Mary tried to give Rose house chores to do, Rose stood her ground. "I'm not your servant," she would say. "If you want something done, do it yourself or send your children to do them." The tension between Mary and Rose quickly escalated. Their loud arguments often echoed through the mansion, drawing the attention of neighbors. Joe, however, was too distracted by his pursuit of yet another wife to notice the growing hostility. Rose's boldness also created resentment between her and Lily. Lily envied Rose's ability to stand up for herself, but feared getting involved in the conflict. As the household became more chaotic, Joe remained indifferent, convinced that his wives would eventually learn to get along. Mary realized that Rose was becoming too influential. She began to fear that Joe might not look her way anymore, threatening her position as the first wife. Desperate to regain control, Mary decided to team up with Lily. Although Mary had been harsh to Lily in the past, she now treated her with kindness, offering to share secrets and meals. At first, Lily was suspicious, but she eventually agreed to join forces with Mary. The two women believed they could handle Rose together. Their plan involved introducing another woman into Joe's life. They believed that a new wife would distract Joe and weaken Rose's position. After much searching, they found Sarah, a stunningly beautiful woman with a sweet demeanor. Sarah was unlike any of Joe's other wives. Her beauty was mesmerizing, and her charm won over everyone she met. Mary and Lily promised Sarah that their wealthy husband would marry her if she would be able to seduce him. On the day they were to execute their plan, they sent Sarah to the bush bar Joe normally spent his evenings. When Joe saw Sarah, he said, "Whoa, this beauty is out of this world. I must make her one of my wives." Without hesitation, he married her and brought her into the mansion. At first, Mary and Lily were pleased. Joe spent all his time with Sarah, leaving Rose feeling neglected. But Sarah's arrival also brought new problems. Rose and Lily plotted with Sarah on how to silence Joe's act of womanizing. Not long after Rose was married, she quickly became jealous of the attention Joe gave to other women, including his existing wives. Sarah's jealousy grew worse when she saw Joe talking to a mysterious woman. She assumed this was another woman Joe wanted to marry, though the truth was far more innocent. The woman was Joe's sister, visiting from another village. Sarah's jealousy blinded her to the truth, and she began plotting a way to execute the plan she had with her co-wives on how to permanently stop Joe's behavior. Sarah decided to take drastic action as she cannot stand Joe's behavior anymore. At night, she lured Joe into her apartment, weakened him with a sleeping pill in a drink, tied his hands, legs, and mouth, then cut off his penis. In the morning, Sarah prepared a very delicious stew that everybody in the house was salivating for because the aroma was out of this world. Everyone praised Sarah for the delicious feast, unaware of the truth and what happened last night. Meanwhile, Joe was not in the dining room eating alongside every other person in the house. Only Rose was able to notice Joe's absence during the family feasting. When Joe's friends came looking for him and was not found in his room, the rooms of his wives were searched, and lo and behold, Joe was found lying helpless in Sarah's room with blood on the floor where he was lying. And it was noticed that Joe's manhood was missing. The villagers were alarmed by the recent happenings. They tortured Sarah, and she confessed to doing that to Joe. She also blamed Mary and Lily, saying they had encouraged her to do the act as it was a planned deal as a way to permanently stop their husband's behavior. Sarah also confessed to using Joe's manhood that was cut to prepare the delicious stew they all eat. Joe's entire household felt like vomiting, but nothing can be done as they have already eaten the food. Joe's injuries were too severe, and since he had lost a lot of blood, he passed away. The village elders held a meeting that same day and decided that Sarah, Mary, and Lily had to be banished, as their act was an abominable act. Their actions had brought shame to the community and destroyed Joe's family. The once lively mansion became a quiet, sorrowful place. Joe's children were handed over to Rose to care for them While a portion of Joe's wealth was given to her since she was not guilty of the offense the other wives were convicted for. Joe's children later inherited his wealth when they grew into adults. The story of Joe and his wives became a cautionary tale, teaching others about the dangers of jealousy, greed, and lack of respect in relationships. Hope you enjoyed the story. If you were in the position of Sarah, what would you have done? Comment what you learnt in the comment section below, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories.